Ideas for the present, dreams for the future. Your imagination holds the key. Walt Disney once said, the era we live in is a dream come true. But there are still plenty of avenues to explore. The Disney Channel invites you to join us now and imagine.
The special effects industry has tapped still another rule of physics. The whole is equal to the sum of its parts. A big effect is really a lot of little effects, each of which has been shot on a separate piece of film. Finally, as many as 60 layers of film are combined to create one single big screen event. But every aspect of that effect is based on scientific principles that most of us learn about in high school science courses. One basic principle underlying it all is called a persistence of vision, a natural phenomenon which causes an image to remain on our retina for about a 20th of a second until another image replaces it. This biological fact is what makes possible the illusion of motion.
We're working in a medium where we're breaking movement down into one frame at a time. And every frame, you have to take the model and move it. And not just one part of it, but the complete model.
It's called stop-motion photography, pioneered years ago by veteran animator Ray Harryhausen. Stop-motion is one of the basic building blocks of modern movie effects. It involves photographing an object one frame at a time. Between shots, the animator makes tiny changes in the position of the subject. When these series of changes are projected at normal film speed, the object seems to be moving all on its own. Here's how Ray Harryhausen made the Medusa move in Clash of the Titans.
Every frame of film, you have to move the snakes just fractionally, sometimes a millimeter. That's before you even move the head. And of course, then you start to move the head. You have to move the shoulders. And then you take one frame. Then you go back again, and you start moving the snake again and again. And you repeat this about 150, 200 times, and you finally have a scene.
Inspired by the automated machining tools in heavy industry, filmmakers have begun using complex mechanical and electronic devices to make their subjects move. This saves valuable time and results in more control over the finished effect. These systems create motion control photography. Here, the cameras also get into the act, moving around the object they're filming. This electronically controlled system has the capability to repeat camera moves over and over by recording them on computer memory.
Motion control is important in the shooting of a special effects shot because you have to lay more than one image on the same piece of film. If you do that, you have to be able to repeat the move of the model, the camera, and the film plane exactly over and over again. The ability to control that motion is the ability to go back in and put more and more stuff on a piece of film, which is the way that you add foreground, midground, and background all into one piece, so you can change them.
Once the production center for the first in the Star Wars series, Apogee is a special effects lab that pioneered several breakthroughs in this important new technique. Veteran camera designer Don Trumbull explains how it works.
We can joystick a move into place and record that move. Then they return to the beginning and push a button, and the whole thing takes place at once because it's all been put into memory.
The movie magicians put something in a location when it's not really there at all. First, the model is filmed against a blue screen. Next, black and white silhouettes or mats of the film are printed to separate foreground from background. Finally, the film of the model is superimposed over the background film, and we find it in a place where it's never been before. If this seems complicated, it is, but it's also at the heart of movie magic. The scientific study of light and optical principles of photography are applied throughout the making of special effects. And that's particularly true in the optical printing phase, where the many separate ingredients that compose a special effect are brought together onto one piece of film. Bruce Nicholson is Industrial Light and Magic's optical supervisor. He oversaw many of the visual effects in The Empire Strikes Back and helped construct a computer-controlled optical printer that made it all possible. He's just the right person to ask about the principle of composite photography, which is very much like a double exposure inside your camera.
A composite photograph is essentially more than one photograph combined into what we would call a composite. In most special effects, you have a composite shot. All the photographic elements are shot separately and then combined in optical printing. So it's absolutely essential to most special effects shots.
This is the machine that makes it possible for us to travel across the galaxy and survive incredible space battles in the comfort of our theater seats. It's called the optical printer. Now let's look at how all the individual elements in a typical space sequence are combined in the optical printer.
In the asteroid sequence, some of the shots, we have a cockpit foreground, which was photographed in England against a blue backing. We then had the asteroids themselves, many of which were individually photographed. The action had to be correct for each one so that they bore the proper relationship to each other. Then we had the spaceships, which were also individually photographed. And then we had to go through a matting process like I'm describing to combine all these things together. And again, through the blue screen process, you can combine as many elements as you want. In the asteroid sequence, we had as many as perhaps 25 separately photographed elements which were combined into the final composite.
A starship exploding in the interstellar void. Even though it started out as a miniature model, once it's been combined with 25 other layers of celluloid, it becomes part of a reality that's never been seen before.
I'm Eric Boardman, and welcome to Walt Disney Imagineering. Here, folks take flights of Disney fancy and turn them into three-dimensional reality. Over here is a model of a new addition to Walt Disney World in Florida. It's called Typhoon Lagoon. Chris.
Hi, Eric.
What is Typhoon Lagoon?
Eric, it's 50 acres of fun. We believe it's the most incredible water park anybody's ever built. We have body slides. We have raft rides. We have Castaway Creek. We have Shark Reef. And the centerpiece of it all is our wave pool.
Chris, you were there from the very beginning of this idea. How did it develop?
We really started with the name, and we tried several different versions of theming. We tried one design that was a military bivouac from the 1940s, and we tried a logging camp.
Do all your ideas happen here at the office?
Well, it doesn't always happen in an office. We have some great ideas. We make a career out of drawing things on napkins in restaurants. In this particular case, I was in my garage, actually, one night and doodling a couple of things out, and came up with this little sketch of the boat stuck on top of the mountain. Our story is that there was this wonderful little quiet resort, and one day this furious storm, enormous world-shaking storm, rocketed through the place, sending the buildings this way and that way, and planting this fishing boat smack on top of Mount Mayday.
Now this is the real thing, Typhoon Lagoon. But what's unreal is how much this place matches the original artwork. like some Rod Serling script where I've been miniaturized and placed in a model. But you can't do this in a model. Typhoon Lagoon has 9 water slides of various shapes, sizes, and speeds. And at 30 miles per hour, the fastest is Humonga Cowabunga.
Hi, Mom. Bye, Mom.
For lazy folks like me, there's Castaway Creek, where you can practice your kick and backstroke right through a rainforest. Kids love Ketchikiddee Creek, even the big ones. And then, of course, there's Typhoon Lagoon itself. This is so cool. You know, since this is the world's largest inland surfing lagoon, safety must be state-of-the-art too, huh, Mike?
Yes, Eric. In the design of Typhoon Lagoon, safety was a main priority. We have a staff of 150 lifeguards who go through a series of extensive training and certifications. Each guard stand is equipped with an emergency stop that, if need be, when you can stop the wave action to make the rescue. When that E-stop is hit, it alerts other people in the area that there's an emergency in that location.
Typhoon Lagoon is our answer to River Country because River Country was getting so full. River Country in the 70s, when it opened, was revolutionary for its time. It was the first themed water park around. In fact, we've compared it to what Disneyland was in 1955 to other amusement parks. It became extremely popular, and we just decided to build another one bigger and better.
If you ever wanted to do a Lloyd Bridges impression, well, this is the place. Shark Reef. Imagineers have created this saltwater wonderland within Typhoon Lagoon. Besides schools of exotic fish, there are bonnethead and smoothhound sharks. Now, they tell me they're quite small, but I decided not to measure them. And after a quick shower, surf's up. Okay, Mike, I've been watching you body surf. I want to learn to body surf. What do I have to do?
It's real simple, Eric. Before the wave comes in, just start your forward momentum. We have these fins here. Just do a flutter kick with the fins. Once the wave starts to push you, just put your hands at your side and just ride it right in.
All right, let's go for it, dude.
Do it.
But this wave pool is rad. It's big enough to encompass an ocean liner and has the world's largest man-made waves. 12 huge chambers fill with water, then release into the bottom of the pool, creating waves up to 6.5 feet high every 90 seconds. Okay, body surfing is probably an acquired skill. If I'm having a ball here, I mean, I love the rafts and the flumes and the slides and all that, but what I really want to do, and I know it's not allowed here, is surf. Can I? Can I?
As a matter of fact, we have Ed. He's one of our best surfers out there right now.
Yeah. Okay, Ed, I got my totally radical jams on. I got my big stick here. And I was watching you catch some tasty waves out there. I want to surf too, bud. How do I do it? And I've never done this before.
Well, Eric, it's very simple. It's all in your positioning and balance on the board. You want to lay center of the board. When you see the wave coming, you start paddling to gain momentum. When you feel the board being pushed by the wave, you just do a quick push-up and get your feet under you, and you're off.
Piece of cake, bud. Oh, I can do this. I don't know about those judges, but I give Typhoon Lagoon a 10, an easy 10. So long.
Plenty of avenues to explore. The Disney Channel invites you to join us now and imagine.
It seems everywhere you look these days, the computer is changing things, and that's especially true in movies. In fact, Walt Disney Studios recently created a film that takes place inside an imaginary supercomputer. But it was a real computer that made the movie's amazing effects possible. Tron was one of the first feature-length movies to make extensive use of computer simulation.
The advantages of computer simulation are that there are no limitations to the physical objects that are created.
For Richard Taylor, visual effects supervisor on Tron, computers are already playing an essential part in creating totally new kinds of special effects.
You can make scenes or images that are much more realistic, that have perfect perspective and perfect lighting, that the objects are designed as three-dimensional objects, not as two-dimensional objects. It allows you to see things in ways you've never seen them before.
Greetings, program! Video game warriors, taking game grid. This is an illegal exit.
At the cutting edge of modern technology, the supercomputer provides a revolutionary breakthrough in the creation of special effects because of its incredible speed and processing capability.
A supercomputer is a computer which operates at very high speeds. In every second, the computer can do 100 million arithmetic operations.
At Digital Productions in Los Angeles, electronic animation pioneer